Good evening and welcome into the Great Park for some more Riptide baseball here in Irvine. I'm Huon Fitzpatrick alongside Sam Evans. They return home after a win on the road last night against the Barons, 6-1. A pretty well-played game there. Offense, pitching, defense was all well in line. But Sam, last time these two teams played, the Bombers took care of business. They really shut down the Riptide offense, but they've been a different team since.
Yeah, Riptide only scored 2 runs in that game. They've won 5 straight since. Got Jake Covey getting his first Riptide start today. I'd love to see him get some length here and give the Riptide some early zeros and then let the bats stay hot.
Jake Covey on the mound. The lineup he'll be facing. Thomas Williams leads off. He's at short. Lucas Bonham batting second, playing second. Alan Chu batting third, playing first. Mikey Roca in the 4-hole. He's at third. Kyle Becker batting fifth. He's in left. Dylan Fishbow in center. James Durflinger in right. Gianluca Finelli is the designated batsman today. And bringing up the rear, Flynn Barnes. He'll be doing the catching. The defense behind Jake Covey, Jack Salmon, Cam Burdick, Bradley Navarro left to right in the outfield. Camden Sauce, Jake Lambden left side of the infield. Luke Johnson, Carter Dans right side, and Zach Crandall will be doing the catching as we are set to go underway. Thomas Williams leads off. Covey's first pitch is below the strike zone for ball one, a 7:07 first pitch here in Irvine. And this one, check swing, foul, 1 ball, 1 strike.
We've seen a lot of this Bombers team. This is the 6th and final game of the year between the Riptide and Bombers. So it's at this point, you sort of know what you're going to get out of pretty much every player in this lineup.
This one grounded softly at Camden Sauce. Spin move, throws to first, and he throws it away. So Thomas Williams reaches on the air from Camden Sauce. He made a good play at the start, but didn't set his feet, couldn't finish the throw. So a leadoff base runner for the Bombers on the air by Camden Sauce. A reminder today, our broadcast is powered by Cityside Fiber, OC Riptide's favorite gig speed fiber internet provider. So a leadoff error for the Riptide leads to a base runner. This one in on the corner for strike one to Bonham. Covey this summer just 1 inning. Had a strikeout in that inning and did not allow a run.
But he was a starter at Concordia, so working to get lengthened back out here with the Riptide.
Williams fakes the steal. Now a swing and a miss from Bonham. Yeah, at Concordia Irvine, he threw 89 innings to a 3.94 ERA.
Earned his 2nd straight spot on the all-region team with Concordia after he had a great year in his junior year.
Bonham check swing. They're not going to ask about it, so ball one. Bonham, one of the better hitters for this team. He leads them in hits. He's hitting .298 with 5 driven in. And just gets a piece. We'll stay here 1 and 2.
Covey's got a lot of swing and miss stuff. He struck out 99 batters in those 89 innings for Concordia, so ahead in the count here, definitely be a good time to work for the punch out from the good hitter Bonham.
Our umpires today, Pablo Bustamante at home plate, Frank Flugrat at first, and Jones Smith at third. That one in the dirt, James Smith, not Jones Smith, at third base. So 2 and 2 to Lucas Bonham. Williams does have some speed. Hasn't run yet. That one foul. So we'll do 2 and 2 again.
Yeah, Covey's doing a good job of mixing up his timing and trying to deter Williams from getting off to the races. And Zach Crandall's got a solid enough arm behind the plate, so it's definitely not an easy battery to move on if you're Williams on the base paths.
He has 5 steals this summer, but has faked a couple of times with no real threat so far. 2-2 pitch, grounded to Camden Sauce. Redemption. He goes to second for one, and Johnson couldn't get out of the glove, so he'll be safe. At first is Lucas Bonham, but they do get an out on the fielder's choice.
A little frustrating there if you're the Riptide. You feel like you've left an out on the table between the error from Sauce, which admittedly was a really tough play the way he was spinning, and then that one where if Johnson gets that out of his glove, you're certainly going to be able to beat Bonham to the bag for the double play, but instead just the one out.
Alan Chu now hitting just 190 for the Bombers. He swings at the first pitch, foul.
Choose will have just two lefties in this Bombers lineup. Williams, a switch hitter, is going to bat from the left side, at least when he's facing off against Covey, but most of this lineup batting from the right-handed side against the righty Covey.
And this one popped up towards Burdick. He's got to hustle in now, and he's not going to get there. It falls in, so Alan Chu, a single here with one out, and now Covey's got to deal with some pressure.
It didn't look like Burdick got the best jump. He's really a great center fielder defensively, but it looked like he started out, maybe got fooled by the big swing on the blooper there.
So Mikey Roca up now. Yeah, Burdick was sprinting in for that. Definitely looked like he didn't really have it, and Chu gets rewarded with a single. This one right in there to Roca for strike one. Roca has struggled this summer. He's hitting just 160. Does have 3 driven in. Oh, 1 pitch. Ball outside.
If you're Covey here, you'd love to get another ground ball. You've already coaxed 2 of them so far, and then the weak blooper for the base hit. But just turn 2 and get out of this inning right here.
This one off the outside, and Covey's had to deal with some anxiety in this inning. Just not really his fault. The error by Camden Sauce. Luke Johnson couldn't get it out of his glove. Alan Chu, pretty much a fly ball that lands for a single. He's doing a good job on Williams. This one smashed towards third, but foul.
But, you know, when you have those sort of adversity moments that aren't created necessarily by you, I think it really says a lot about a pitcher when they're able to say, you know, hey, yeah, my defense didn't make a play, but I'm going to pick them up because I know that they're going to be there for me to pick me up later in this ballgame.
Roca out of SEMO, Southeast Missouri State. Looking to go back to them with some momentum this summer. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jake Covey's first strikeout of the day, and it's a big one. Now 2 outs here in the first.
It was a great pitch there, just said, my best against your best. Sent the fastball right at Roca, and Roca was very late on it there from Covey.
Now, Kyle Becker, we haven't seen him in a while. He's batting just 208, does have 4 RBIs, and had 2 hits the last game he played against the Barons. Drove in 2 in that game. He looks at the first one on the outside for strike 1.
Yeah, Becker's a guy who actually mostly pitched, you know, and during his collegiate time at Nevada last season, but he's been really mostly used as a hitter here for the Bombers this summer. Somewhat reminiscent of Cutter Dans for the Riptide.
This one is popped up. See if Burdick gets a better read. He does. Barely has to move. Makes the catch. So Jake Covey works around some mistakes by the Riptide. Bombers do not score. Riptide get their first appearance when we come back. Welcome back. Bottom of the first set to be underway here. It will be Owen Peak on the mound for the Bombers. We saw him last time these two teams played. He's had some pretty good numbers this summer against the Riptide. 6 innings, just 2 runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. The lineup, the lefty will be facing Bradley Navarro leads off. He's in right. Jake Lambden batting second at short. Isaac Cadena, he'll be the designated hitter today. He's batting third after his big home run yesterday. Carter Dans, he's at first. Luke Johnson batting fifth at second base. Zach Crandall batting sixth. Jack Salmon, Camden Sauce, Cam Burdick, 7, 8, 9. The defense behind Peak, Kyle Becker, Dylan Fishbow, James Derflinger. In the outfield, Mikey Roca, Thomas Williams, third and short. Lucas Bonham, Alan Chu, second and first. And Flynn Barnes will be doing the catching.
For Bradley Navarro, you don't see him batting from the right side as much, but the switch hitter is going to do so against the lefty Peak. And he says he's got more power against this left-handed pitching.
First pitch swinging is popped up, tough play. In comes right fielder Derflinger, who makes the catch for out number 1. So Navarro deposited on 1 pitch. Peak this summer, he's pitched 6 innings against the Riptide. He's pitched 9 innings overall, 4 ERA, 14 strikeouts to 5 walks.
Yeah, picked up the win that when he started against the Riptide about a week ago, the last time these two teams met. So trying to do the same again here today for the Bombers.
Lambden steps in now. This one upstairs. Lambden hitting .250, but a lot of numbers across the board. He's got 6 RBIs and 6 stolen bases. So if he can get on, he's always a threat to move. Fouled back, strike 1.
Well, those 6 stolen bases are just in 8 games with the Riptide. He's also got 8 walks in those 8 games as well. So he's really good at getting himself aboard a 436 OBP this season, and a walk is almost as good as a double with Jake Lambden's on the base paths.
And walks a little bit more than he strikes out, which you always want as a hitter. Now he's ahead 2 balls and a strike.
Well, and both Lambden and Cadena, who's on deck, have really been, sort of injections and much needed ones to the Riptide offense. And they came in, a week ago and have been hitting second and third in this lineup.
This one grounded to Chu. Picks it up, steps on first for out number 2. So 2 quick outs for Owen Peak. And Isaac Cadena, another big home run yesterday. A week ago against the Barons, he hit one at their field. That went a long way. Sam and I were there for that one. And then yesterday against the Barons at their field as well, he hit one an even longer way. So Cadena now leads the team in home runs after being here for just a week. That one drops in for strike 1. Cadena hitting .389, those 2 home runs. He's also driven in 8. We've seen him kind of everywhere. He's caught a couple of times. He's been at first base. So that one's grounded foul. He's been a DH as he is today.
Yeah, he's just been so good with the Riptide. I mean, it's really been fun to watch him, sort of join this team, get embraced by this locker room, and he's certainly paid them back by just being impossible to get out, it seems like.
And right as Sam talks, that's called strike 3 on the outside corner. So Riptide go down in order. 1, 2, 3, nothing through 1. Bombers coming up. Second inning getting started here. Dylan Fishbow will lead off for the Bombers. Fishbow struggling a bit this summer. He's hitting just 143 with 19 strikeouts as he grounds the first one foul, but not too unexpected. He's one of the few Division III players in this league, so dealing with some higher competition.
Yeah, there's definitely some growing pains that come when you move up to a higher division, as the foul ball that rolled down the left field line has finally been retrieved. So he should be just about ready to get back to baseball.
Covey up 0-1, and this one chopped weakly, but it's going to roll foul. Covey giving chase, but 0-2 now to Fishbow. Pre-game, Covey told us he expected to go about 2 or 3 innings, as he hasn't been fully built up to being a starter again just yet.
Certainly you'd love to see Covey get back into that starter role.
This one in the dirt, ball 1. Got him. Second strikeout of the day for Jake Covey. Dylan Fishbow goes down for out number 1. Now, James Durflinger, 0 for 7 against the Riptide this season. He's batting .238. But playing here in his hometown. He's from Irvine. Swing and a miss, strike 1, and what a bat on Durflinger. He's a pink bat with like mint green, bluish handle. It's a good look for him.
It's reminiscent of those Padres City Connect uniforms.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. So back-to-back swings and misses on pitches outside the zone. I believe it's also a torpedo bat from what I'm seeing.
You know, Jimmy Zaccar's got a pink torpedo bat down in that Riptide dugout, too.
0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jake Covey. Now 2 outs here for Gianluca Finelli.
And whatever color that bat was, it didn't really seem to matter because went 0 for 3 on making contact with Covey's pitches right there.
Gianluca Finelli hitting just .226. Does have a little bit of ownage against the Riptide this summer as he looks at strike 1. On opening day when the Bombers won, he hit a home run. And in the last Bombers win when these two teams played, he had 3 hits and 2 RBIs. That one low for ball 1. So, Finelli, a guy they want to look out for. Swing and a miss, so quickly 1 ball and 2 strikes. Covey could strike out the side here.
He looked better and more comfortable on the mound here in this second inning.
Swing and a miss. Jake Covey sets him down. 1, 2, 3, all on strikeouts. We head to the bottom of the second. Still 0-0. Welcome back, Riptide. Second at bats here. They went down 1-2-3 in the first. It will be Carter Dans, Luke Johnson, Zach Crandall for the Riptide. Carter Dans hitting .298 this summer with 11 RBIs. He's had a hot bat as of late. Another lefty-lefty matchup here against Owen Peak. Dirty ball 1-0.
Dance is another guy who, so sort of in the same vein as Lambton and Kadena, came into this team not at the opening day. He came about a week and a half into the season and was another guy who really gave a spark to this Riptide offense, the same way we've seen Lambton and Kadena do over this last week.
That one outside, so 2-0 to Dans. And he has pitched a little bit this summer as well, though we haven't seen him in a while. Just a couple innings on the mound for him. Has to dip under that one, so 3-0.
On walking has been a huge part of Dan's game. He's got 14 walks this summer, including 8 in his last 6 games. So he's really done a good job of being patient and waiting for his pitch.
Red light all the way. Takes now 3 balls and a strike.
He's also on a 5-game hitting streak. At average, inching ever closer to 300 if you're Carter Dans.
Advantage pitch to Dans, and he walked out of the batter's box. The pitch was a ball, and it's a walk. So, don't really know what happened there. But Carter Dans goes to first on the walk. He just looked completely disinterested in that pitch.
Looks like Scott Stanley's going to come out and talk things over. I wonder if Dan perhaps tried to call time and wasn't granted, but then the pitch was a ball. A conversation going on between Bustamante and Scott Stanley right there.
And it looks like for the second game in a row, it is not Zach Taylor as the first base coach. Yesterday we saw Camden Sauce out there. Today it looks like Brady Pettit perhaps returning from his injury stint.
Yeah, indeed. It is Pettit over there at the first base coach.
So welcome back, Brady Pettit, immediately thrust into being first base coach. So discussion over from Scott Stanley. Dans will reach on the walk. Now, Zach Crandall, or Luke Johnson, excuse me, he fouls one off for strike 1. So we hope everything is okay with Coach Thomas as he's been absent for a couple of days. So it'll be Brady Pettit, who just returned actually from a lengthy absence. We're glad he's okay after being hit by a ball in pregame BP, but glad to see him back on his feet. Luke Johnson pops one up, potentially playable. Chu going after it, but he's going to run out of room. So 0-2 to Luke Johnson.
Yeah, but down 0-2 in the count, but Luke Johnson's just done such a great job of hitting recently. He's got 7 multi-hit games in the last 12, so if anyone can find a way from down 0-2 right now, it's Luke Johnson.
Walk's not a big part of his game, but he battles in other ways. And taps this one lightly foul. Dans does run well from first, but with a lefty pitcher, could be difficult to steal.
And Dan's just 2 stolen base attempts so far this season. He's 1 for 2 on those 2. So Luke Johnson, who's 14 for 14 on the base paths, definitely got a run. Dan's, he's fast, but doesn't necessarily get used as much to steal bags.
0-2 again to Johnson, and again he fouls it off. So putting up a good fight here. And Johnson struck out a lot early in the season. It was a big part of his game when he was in that slump. And now he's kind of put together better at bats, getting a lot more hits, striking out less. So he's come alive these last couple weeks.
No, it's been great to see him get going, and really he's been a crucial part of this Riptide offensive surge that's powered an 8-2 run here that's slingshot them within touching distance of that #1 overall seed.
0-2 again. This one in the dirt. Carter Dans is going to take off. A good read from him. He slides in head first and safe. So good advance on the wild pitch from Carter Dans. So a runner in scoring position for the Riptide, which has been a struggle for them, but they've been better as of late.
That was a great job there from Dan. That pitch did not get very far away from Flynn Barnes, and he was able to move up the 90 feet just barely on the wild pitch.
And Johnson lines one into left field. That's going to fall. They're going to hold Carter Dan. So Luke Johnson, again, the two-strike hitting, and he comes through there now. First and third, nobody out. And that wild pitch is big because Dan's probably doesn't get to third on the single.
Another chance for Zach Crandall to put up a sac fly. He's got 4 sac flies in his last 3 games. 6 RBIs in that span as well. And with no outs and Carter Dan's over there on third, a chance for his 5th sac fly in just 4 games.
Yeah, but Luke Johnson's not at third, so I don't know. His last 3 sacrifice flies have all been on the first pitch, all with Luke Johnson at third. And immediately Luke Johnson takes off, but he's going to have to come back as Crandall fouls it off. So was looking for his 15th steal, but he'll have to wait at least one more pitch.
Yet to get caught so far this season. When he's on base, it really feels like an inevitability that he's going to swipe a bag or 2.
He's got 14 steals, which leads this team. Carter Dan's dancing off a third. Johnson stays put. This one in the dirt. We have seen the Riptide attempt to steal home. Cam Burdick did it early in the season and ended up being safe on a balk call, but he attempted it. And with a lefty on the mound, it's theoretically easier to steal home. Crandall pops this one up. Not going to be a sacrifice fly. Chu, a step into foul territory, makes the catch for out number 1. So no luck for Crandall there.
Well, the other thing we've seen the Riptide do in this spot here, runner on first, runner on third, is attempt the double steal where you have the delayed runner break towards the plate. Didn't exactly work out. Rocco Caballero got caught trying to swipe home on that play against the Waves back last time they were home here on Wednesday. So we'll see if that play gets used again by Coach Evans.
There Johnson goes again, and they're not even going to test it. So Johnson, his 15th steal of the season. It was a strike to Jack Salmon, but Salmon, a bat that's in desperate need of something to go right, and this is a big spot for him as corners come in now. This one in the dirt, it gets away, but not far enough for Dans to move. And it's been a struggle for Jack Salmon, but he does have 5 RBIs this summer, so a big spot for him to make it 6, maybe 7. So, bit of a delay here, but Peak will toe the slab and will be ready to go. Left on left here, Jack Salmon hitting just 128, but does have those 5 RBIs as he swings and misses for strike 2. And this bottom third of the lineup for the Riptide has really been struggling as of late, although Burdick has looked a little bit better. And Salmon goes down. He's going to hustle to first base. Barnes throws him out, so a strikeout for Jack Salmon, and now Camden Sauce is going to have to get the job done with 2 outs.
Yeah, that's a frustrating one there when Salmon chases, expands the zone with 2 strikes. You really just want to put that ball in play. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. There's a lot of ways that run comes home, but a strikeout's not going to be one of them. So that's an at-bat that Jack Salmon's going to want to have back, and we'll see if Sauce can find a base hit here to help the Riptide take the lead.
Sauce, a single would definitely plate 2 with 2 outs and Johnson's speed. That one right in there, strike 1. Sauce hitting .231. He does have 4 RBIs, so a big spot for him, and the bat's been a little bit better as of late. And this one popped up foul, and it hasn't really been an issue the last few games for the Riptide, but they have struggled at times with getting guys on with less than 2 outs and not bringing them in. So another impossible situation for that here. They had 2 guys on with nobody out, and now a strike away from stranding them. This one in the dirt. Flynn Barnes so far playing a good backstop back there. We haven't really seen him. It was Griffin Zitko to start the year, and then Ethan Swidler the last couple games. But now Barnes getting a chance.
The longer you can stay in this at-bat, the better here if you're Sauce. We've already seen Pete get wild today.
This one grounded up the middle, gloved by Williams. He struggles getting it out, but still has time to throw out Camden Sauce. So the Riptide fail to capitalize on 2 runners on with nobody out. 0-0 as we head to the 3rd. Welcome back. Bombers will hit here in the 3rd. Jake Covey still out there for the Riptide, and he ended the 2nd with a bang. Struck out the side, all swinging. So it'll be 9-1-2 for the Bombers. Flynn Barnes leads off. That one a little bit low for ball 1. Barnes hitting just 200 this summer. That one upstairs, ball 2. He has played against the Riptide. He came in as a pinch hitter and got hit by a pitch back in June. Taps this one foul.
Nice there for Covey to try and work back into this count here. Now only down 2-1, and he struck out 4 of his last 5 hitters, including striking out the side last inning. So he's been growing into this game after a little bit of a rocky start.
This one inside, so in danger of his first walk here is Covey, his first of the game and the season.
Walked a batter about every 4 innings at Concordia.
This one popped up foul, so we'll go full. Yeah, he had 99 strikeouts to only 22 walks, so Covey, walks not a huge part of his game. Full count, this one grounded towards Luke Johnson, who underhands it to Dans for out number 1. And we've seen Johnson mostly at 3rd these last couple of games, but they're moving him back to 2nd, where he's been fairly comfortable this summer.
He's done a little bit of everything for the Riptide, some 2nd, some 3rd, even some work in the outfield, which is an unfamiliar position. So he's really been a team-first guy. He's been unselfish about letting other people play what they need.
And Thomas Williams is on base for the 2nd time, the 2nd hit of the day for the Bombers, the first for Williams. Ambushing that first pitch, and he runs well, but Covey did a good job of mixing his looks last time Williams was on.
First piece of real solid contact we've seen against Covey. The only other base hit was a bloop single into center.
Now Lucas Bonham looks at ball one. There's some action in the Riptide bullpen, but no one really throwing. So we'll see. They'll see how long Covey can go.
Sean Cannon stretching his arm out.
This one in the dirt, ball two.
He's having a little bit more trouble finding the strike zone so far. He fell behind to Barnes and now behind 2-0 to Bonham here.
So he told us his max was 2 or 3, and he's in the third. So potentially Cannon's inning in the fourth. This one flied towards Jack Salmon, but Cam Burdick calls him off and makes the catch for out number 2.
That's what you want there if you're the Riptide. Seeing Cam Burdick, to be assertive in the outfield. He's done a great job. He's played a little bit more sporadically because the bat's not necessarily been there this summer, but his defense has really been great all summer long. He's looked confident and in control in that big Great Park outfield.
Alan Chu, the only other single for the Bombers was towards Cam Burdick. He didn't really get the best jump there. It kind of fell in front of him. So Chu 1 for 1. Check swing. No, says third base umpire James Smith. So it'll be 2-0 to Alan Chu. Mikey Roca on deck. This one catches the outside corner, 2-1. Alan Chu out of Alabama, Birmingham. Williams goes, swing and a miss from Chu. Crandall's throw down a little bit high, but they got him. What a play on both sides. Crandall, a strong throw, just a little high and wide. Lambden, a great tag there on the play to get Williams a speedy base runner. So great defense from the Riptide. End the inning in style. We head to the bottom of the third. Still 0-0. Cam Burdick leads off for the Riptide. He's the last one that hasn't swung the bat. Then it'll turn over to Bradley Navarro and Jake Lambden. Burdick hitting just 189 this summer as he looks at strike one.
Yeah, for Burdick, the struggles have really been about having a long swing that makes it difficult for him to get consistent contact.
Exhibit A right there. He swings and misses at strike two out of the zone. He does have 16 strikeouts this summer, one of the leaders of this team. And strikeout number 17, that one called on the outside corner. So Owen Peak, his third of the day. So lineup will turn over to Bradley Navarro, who swung at the first pitch and flew out his last time up. And he swings at the first pitch again. This one hammered to center. Fishbow going back at the track makes the catch. So 2 pitches, 2 flyouts for Bradley Navarro, though that one was hit a little bit better.
Yeah, hit very well out there to the deepest part of this ballpark, 400 feet to center field, and Navarro just didn't quite have the bat there to send it over the wall. But certainly a well-hit baseball from Navarro. Hopefully more to come from the Riptide here in this ball game.
Jake Lambden grounded to Alan Chu his last time up. This one outside, ball 1.
That ball went up. You just got a really good sense of how picturesque it is here at the Great Park at sunset with these purple mountains in behind. It's just such a great place to watch a baseball game.
And this one grounded to Williams across the diamond in time. Riptide go 1, 2, 3 again. We head to the 4th, still 0-0. Gone to Cityside Fiber. It's your turn to get connected with Cityside Fiber, OC Riptide's favorite gig speed fiber internet provider. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working from home, Cityside Fiber knocks it out of the park. Step up to the plate and get connected today at citysidefiber.com. Alan Chu stays in the box after Williams was thrown out. He swings at the first pitch. Burdick there for out number 1. Efficiency for Jake Covey. He told us he was only going to go 3, but his pitch count's low, so he's going back out there and immediately gets an out on 1 pitch.
Well, Jake Covey is the definition of a dog. He was out there. He threw 170 pitches in a game for Concordia.
So that one at the knees, strike 1.
Those 130, he's not going to throw 170 here tonight, but he's definitely a guy who's like, I want the baseball, I feel good, I'm pitching well, let me go out there.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. I think, well, if Jake Covey was on the Philippines, he might throw 170 pitches. 0-2 to Roca, and he swings and misses, strike 3. So Michael Roca down for the second time via the K. Good morning, good afternoon, good night from Jake Covey. 2 outs here in the 4th.
Yeah, Covey really working with efficiency again here as he's just thrown 4 pitches to get the 2 outs and a 1-pitch flyout and then the 3-pitch K, and still no action in that Riptide bullpen, so we'll see how long he can go.
Kyle Becker swings at the first pitch. Navarro has to run a long way. He dives and it gets past him. So Becker on his way to second. He's not slowing down. He's on his way to third. Ball still not in, and now they hit the cut. Becker's going to stay at third. Navarro gave it his best effort, but Kyle Becker ends up on third with a triple.
Yeah, Navarro had a lot of room to cover. Tried to dive, couldn't make the play, and then it really just rolled probably another 40 feet past him, and just able to hold Becker on third. At least there's still 2 outs here, so if you're Covey, you just one more, you're out of this inning, you can strand that triple. It'd be much more difficult if it was less than 2 outs, and you can bring that run home with a productive out.
So first run of the game, just 90 feet away, but 2 outs for Dylan Fishbow, who struck out his last time up, and starts it with a swing and a miss 2-1. And this one grounded softly at Sauce, but foul for strike 2. Scott Stanley gets it into Jake Covey.
And in case Covey didn't need any more motivation in this big spot here, strike out to the beer batter. So
0-2, and another one grounded to the same spot. So we'll do 0-2 again. Fishbow has already delivered some cheaper beer here tonight. See if he'll do it again. 0-2. Upstairs, ball 1.
But if you're Covey here, he talks about situations where, a strikeout and a walk are both, sort of advantageous. A hit would hurt you here. You can work around a hitter. This is one of those spots where you really want to strike him out or either walk him.
Got him. Dylan Covey strikes out Fishbow for the second time, works around the 2-out triple. We head to the bottom of the 4th, still 0-0. Isaac Cadena leads off for the Riptide. Still scoreless here at the Great Park in the 4th inning. Bombers with 3 hits, Riptide with just the 1. So Cadena looking to get it started against Owen Peak, still out there for the Bombers. And still nothing in the Riptide bullpen. So we could see Covey for a 5th inning as Cadena looks at ball 1. Although now Sean Cannon has grabbed a glove. So could be Sean Cannon's 5th inning. This one drops in the curveball for strike 1.
Yeah, both these pitchers, Peak and Covey, really have carved through their lineups with efficiency. That's allowed them to get deeper and deeper into these ball games here.
1-1 to Cadena. And that one hits him between the letters on the back. So a leadoff base runner for the Riptide. They had one in the 2nd on a Carter Dan's walk, but couldn't capitalize. You'd like to see them do a little bit better here.
Speaking of Carter Dan's, who's in the on-deck circle, so he'll be headed up to the batter's box here as the Riptide try and take advantage of Cadena earning the painful pass towards first base.
Cadena does have some speed despite being a catcher. He's got a steal this summer, but had 8 for TCU in the spring.
They played some outfield as well as some third base with TCU, so he's got good speed and definitely not your traditional catcher necessarily.
They're talking about pitcher and batter need to make eye contact before a delivery. So we'll get it started now. Carter Dan's up, walked his first time. This one outside, it goes off the glove of Barnes, and Kadina's going to move up on the passed ball by Flynn Barnes. So Barnes, we haven't seen a lot of behind the plate, and an early mistake there from him.
Big to have a runner in scoring position with just no outs here, in the Riptide have the big part of their order up right now.
And Dan's fouls one softly towards first base coach Brady Pettit today, not Zach Thomas.
You know, we call him ZT. I wonder if Brady's getting the BP nickname while he's over there in Thomas's place.
One and one to Dan's. Curveball doesn't catch the top part of the zone. It'll be 2-1. So Cannon now throwing to a catcher. So it seemingly will be it for Jake Covey. He's been great tonight. So they'll turn it over to Sean Cannon, hopefully with a lead if you're the Riptide.
Some action as well going on in the Bombers bullpen.
This one falling fast in center field, but Dylan Fishbow is going to get there. Kadina stays put, so Carter Dan's retired for out number one.
It's like Trevor Morgan's the arm that's up for the Bombers in their bullpen, the newest addition to their roster.
So could see Owen Peak's last inning here. He'll face the only Riptide hitter with a hit, Luke Johnson. A hit would bring home the first run. This one driven towards left field, but it's going to hang up. Kadina's got to get back, and he gets back. They say Lucas Bonham was off the bag. Scott Stanley incensed. He's coming out to argue. I thought Kadina got doubled off.
Kadina was sort of slow getting back. I mean, he was moving back at least with a little bit of hurry, but then really slowed down and sort of eased his way into second. And a conversation going on here as Frank Fruglat tries to talk things over with Scott Stanley.
So they're going to say he was safe. So I think the Riptide catch a break there. Kadina gets back. It's a fly out for Luke Johnson. Zach Crandall up now trying to get the first run on the board for the Riptide. This one in the dirt. It gets away. Kadina easily goes to third, rounds, but will stay put. So now 90 feet away is the go-ahead run for the Riptide.
It's the second wild pitch, and along with the pass ball, third time that a Riptide have been able to move up 90 feet on the base pass. And Zach Crandall's really been an RBI guy of late. 8 on the season, 6 in his last 3 games. I'd love if he could come up with another one right here to kick off the scoring here in the 4th.
1-0 pitch. This one driven into the gap. Going back is Fishbow, and he gets there on the warning track. Zach Crandall gave it a ride, but Riptide strand the leadoff runner. Once again, we head to the 5th, but not before a word from our friends at Experian. Experian is your BFF, your big financial friend, big enough to have the resources and knowledge that have an impact, personal enough to help you with what's best for only you. No matter where you are on your financial journey, your big financial friend is a trustworthy companion by your side. Wherever you are on your financial journey, your big financial friend is ready to help you navigate the smartest way to reach all your personal financial goals with solutions you can trust. This is Experian, your big financial friend for life. For more information, visit Experian.com. New pitcher on the mound for the Riptide. It will be Sean Cannon. Jake Covey, spectacular in his start. 4 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. But he'll turn it over to Cannon, who has just pitched 1 inning this summer and was pretty eventful. Had 2 walks, loaded the bases, but struck out the side, did not allow a run. So 0 ERA for him in 1 inning.
And that came against these Bombers 9 days ago when these two teams last met.
He'll face James Derflinger to start, who struck out on 3 pitches. Last time he shows bunt, but right back to Cannon, who's going to have to hustle, and Derflinger beats it out. So not a very good bunt, but he runs well, and Cannon really wasn't hustling off the mound to make that play. So Derflinger gets a single.
Yeah, it felt like one of those where Cannon sort of realized it was bunted right back to him and said, hey, I'm going to just take my time, make sure I field this cleanly, throw on to first cleanly. And instead he took too much time, and the third of first to Carter Dans was instead not in time.
So Derflinger, with some speed as we saw, could be a threat to steal with no one scoring at all today. Now Finelli shows bunt, and that one hits him on the hand, but they're not going to say foul ball. So 2 bunts that work out in weird ways for the Bombers. Finelli in some pain. Is in on the hands like that is never good.
Yeah, interesting ruling there. It looked like Finelli had squared to that baseball, which would make it a foul ball regardless of how painful it is. But they're going to check on him and make sure he's okay. But it's a big spot here for the Bombers, who have their first 2 men aboard with no outs in the 5th.
But Sean Cannon got out of a situation he created for himself last time against this team, so could do it again here. As Jake Spence, who we haven't seen in a minute as he was gone on some personal stuff, has now grabbed a glove in the bullpen. He was down in North Carolina training at Tread, a pretty high-level baseball kind of velocity facility training place down there. So we'll see him for the first time. You'd hope not in this inning, but so now the corners come in expecting Flynn Barnes to bunt after 2 successful bunts in weird ways for the Bombers. Barnes does not show it. He swings and misses at the first pitch. He does have 1 RBI this summer, but it hasn't been great with the bat for Barnes. So Sauce even with the bag. Carter Dans on the cut of the grass, ready for the bunt. Spence now throwing with the catcher, but not on the mound. Barnes now shows bunt, but misses it. They back pick at second, but Derflinger gets back in. So with 2 strikes, I think Barnes will be swinging away.
Yeah, you say that, but you can really never count anything out here with Scott Stanley. He loves to have some lengthy signs. I mean, he probably spends 10 seconds. I have a hard time if there was a pitch clock here with how long these signs are from Stanley.
So 0-2 to Barnes. Called strike 3, so a big strikeout for Sean Cannon, his first of the day, but now the top of the lineup for the Bombers, and Williams has been on base twice.
On continuing the trend for Cannon, who he struck out 4 people this summer for his 4 outs, but besides that, 2 hits, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch has put him in some rough spots to have to use the strikeout to get out of those big jams.
First pitch to Williams just off the outside for ball 1. Williams reached on an error in the first inning and then singled in the third before being thrown out trying to steal. This one misses to Williams, 2-0.
Cannon did have some control issues with St. Mary's. He had a 3.57 ERA, but 10 walks to just 8 strikeouts in 17 and 2/3 innings.
And Williams breaks his bat but flares it into center field. That's going to be a base hit. The first run of the game is going to score. The throw from Burdick cut off. Bat went flying for Williams, but it pays off as it brings home the first run of the game.
He will gladly sacrifice that shillelagh for a base hit and a 1-0 San Diego lead.
Although the Riptide have played from behind a decent amount this summer. They had limited, I guess, mixed success in those situations. Finelli goes to second on the base hit. Derflinger scores. Now, same situation for Lucas Bonham, and he grounds this one. Taylor made double play, lammed into second for one. On to first, and Cannon gets out of it, but not before a run comes home for the Bombers. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Bombers lead 1-0. Sam Evans is going to take you the rest of the way when we come back.
Welcome back here in Irvine. Sam Evans alongside Huon Fitzpatrick as the Riptide trailing in this game 1-0, facing off against Isaac Coda now after Owen Peak finishes his 4 scoreless innings. He was fantastic, gave up just 1 hit to the Riptide. A single from Luke Johnson, but it'll be 7, 8, and 9. Salmon Sauce and Burdick as they try and get the offense kick started. First pitch down and in. Salmon danced out of the way, so 1-0.
Isaac Coda this summer, 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, a 1.28 ERA. Last time he pitched against the Riptide, he went 2 innings, gave up a run.
His only run allowed so far this summer. 1-0 here on Salmon. He swings, that one's lined, but right towards the second baseman Bonham. He'll throw to first just in time to get the speedy Jack Salmon for out number 1. Salmon runs well. That was sort of a soft liner that bounced in front of Bonham, but able to throw onto first in time. That'll bring up Camden Sauce, who grounded out last time up. That was in a big spot. The Riptide had runners on second and third. They were unable to take advantage. You're just trying to table set if you're Camden Sauce. That one's fouled back. So 0-1 on Sauce. Coda, as we talked about, has really been good all summer. Didn't have a great year at Grossmont, a 5.77 ERA in 53 innings, but he's come to play here in the CCL for the Bombers.
Riptide really got to get the bats going. Only 1 hit today, and they haven't capitalized on their other runners.
1-0 taken away, 1-1. And the Riptide have really done a great job offensively of late. 6 runs in the win yesterday, 6 runs in the win on Wednesday, and then 10 runs the day before. But just the one hit here so far tonight. 1-1 on Sauce. That one's hit sharply towards left field. Becker moving back, but he'll reach the glove up just a couple of steps before the track for out number 2 here in the 5th.
And if you're Coda, this is exactly what you want. Your team put up a run for you in the top half. If you can put up a 0, it gives some more confidence to that offense.
So a loud second out, but an out nonetheless, means it's Cam Burdick with the bases empty and 2 outs. He struck out looking to lead off the 3rd last time. He is on a 5-game on-base streak, and Burdick takes strike 1 down the middle, 0-1. For Burdick, we touched on it. Great defensively, but some struggles just from making contact, just striking out too much to really have a lot of success at the plate. That one's fouled off to the right side. So 0-2, just sort of reaching out at that slider, and that's been the issue. He's just been chasing too much, and you know, unlike some guys who have that really short, compact swing, who can sort of get away with swinging a lot because you can just make contact with everything, Burdick's is really too lengthy to be able to do that consistently. Down 0-2 here. Swings and misses on the fastball up. Burdick strikes out on 3 pitches. The Riptide go 1-2-3 for the 3rd time tonight. They're trailing 1-0 as we move on to the 6th. Welcome back. We'd just like to remind you that our broadcast today is powered by Cityside Fiber, OC Riptide's favorite gig speed fiber internet provider. Back here for the top of the 6th. 1-0 San Diego leads. They'll have Alan Chu, Michael Roca, Kyle Becker. That's 3-4-5 up. Lefty, righty, lefty. Sean Cannon still out there for the Riptide. Just misses up and away. 1-0. So far today, Chu singled back in the 1st and then flew out to center last time up. 1-0 bounces in, and Chu's got a really upright stance in the box. Really feels stiff. He holds that bat pretty much straight up, out, up, and over the plate here. Not a lot of wiggle to his bat either.
Yeah, very Shohei Ohtani-esque in that left-handed box.
2-0 bounces in, so now 3-0 behind is Cannon. Didn't walk anyone an inning ago, but he did hit a batter, and that helped contribute to the first run of the game coming across for San Diego. 3-0 is in the strike zone. Chu turned to throw his bat back towards the Bombers' dugout, but he'll have to stay in the batter's box for at least one more pitch. Now the 3-1 from Cannon. That one's up high. So a 5-pitch walk for Alan Chu leads off the 6th. The Bombers look to add on to their 1-0 lead.
And if you're Cannon, not the start that you want. You gave up a run in the last inning you pitched. Your offense hasn't done much of anything today. You don't want to put more pressure on yourself or the offense. So a leadoff walk, not a great start there.
There's another guy who's struggled today for San Diego. 2 strikeouts, Michael Roca 0 for 2. Those both came against the starter, Jake Covey, though. This one's just sort of cued off to the right side. 0-1. Crandall will retrieve the baseball and throw it back towards the bat boy by the Riptide dugout. Chu over there on first, the first baseman, but a pretty small lead for him. That off speed just missed his high 1-1. Chu is still getting his sliding mitt on. It looks like he's now got it on his right hand and perhaps a slightly larger lead, but still not a massive one over there at first base. 1-1 from Cannon. That one's fouled back towards the parking lot. So 1-2 as Cannon looks to work for his second strikeout of this ballgame.
And you'd love a strikeout here. You'd also love a double play, make this inning a little bit easier for you.
Cannon got out of the 5th with a double play. One again would clear the bases right here. 1-2 misses down and away. But I like that pitch from Cannon, going to the slider and trying to get some swing and miss from a guy who's already done so a couple of times today. Count even at 2 now for the St. Mary's right-hander. That one's lifted down the left field line, but it's just twisting fouls. Roca sent one pretty deep down that left field corner, but always was left of the chalk line.
Yeah, that one was hit pretty well, but just not really close enough to being fair as Jake Spence continues to get hot for the Riptide.
2-2 again here on Roca, who's put together a little bit of a battle now. That one inside, so now 3-2. Cannon, who was ahead 1-2 of Roca, pardon me. The full count, we'll see if Chu gets in motion, but he's staying really close to that first base bag, held on by Carter Dans, but Cannon will pick over even though the lead was minimal. Just want to control this running game. We haven't seen a lot of action on the base path so far, just the caught stealing from Thomas Williams. Perhaps that dissuaded furthers. That one's grounded right up the middle and into center field. Staying on second is Chu, and again, the first 2 runners of an inning reach against Sean Cannon. A walk and a single this time. That'll bring up Kyle Becker with 2 on and no out.
And that's a really good at-bat from Roca. He was down 0-2 quickly. He worked it full and gets the base hit as Coach Evans will come out. And Cannon, just another stressful situation for him.
It's a tough one there. That ball been hit to an infielder. It almost certainly would have been a double play, but instead it's a base hit, and Cannon is going to leave this ball game. This pitching change is brought to you by Experian. Experian is your BFF, your big financial friend. Big enough to have the resources and knowledge that have an impact, but personal enough to help with what's best for only you. No matter where you are in your financial journey, your big financial friend is a trustworthy companion by your side. Wherever you are in your financial journey, your big financial friend is ready to help you navigate the smartest way to reach all your personal financial goals with solutions you can trust. This is Experian, your big financial friend for life. For more information, visit Experian.com. It'll be Jake Spence's Riptide return after this. He's coming into a big spot. Orange County trailing 1-0, but San Diego's threatening for more. Back after this. back here in the Great Park, the Riptide trailing 1-0, but the Bombers really threatening to add on. They've got runners on first and second with no outs here in the top of the 6th. Those both came off Sean Cannon. Jake Spence back. He was at Tread Athletics in Charlotte to work on some mechanics. He'll have to try and show those off right here and now. First baseman Dans and third baseman Sauce in here. That one's lifted towards left field, moving over Salmon, and he'll make the catch. So first pitch back and the first out of the inning for Jake Spence.
And that's huge if you're Jake Spence. You haven't pitched in a while. You come in to a big spot and you immediately get the first out on one pitch. It's got to feel good for him.
So that'll bring up Dylan Fishbow, who struck out twice tonight. Both those came against the starter, Jake Covey. As Spence tries to work his way out of the jam that Cannon created. So far this season, he's thrown 4 1/3 for the Riptide, as that one's bunted foul by Fishbow. In CCL play, just an inning and a third, he had a 6.75 ERA. But against the Malibu Marlins in a non-league game, he threw 3 innings, did not allow an earned run, just 2 hits, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. That was his last action in a Riptide uniform. 0-1 here ahead of Fishbow. Runners on first and second. That one down and away, so 1-1. It's a 3-pitch mix for Spence, a sinker, a slurve, and a changeup for the San Francisco State senior. Staring in and now has a pitch he likes here on Fishbow. 1-1. That one just misses away, so now 2-1. Spence was at San Francisco State last season, of course. That program has shut down, so he's off to Cal State LA to continue his baseball career. This one's grounded towards Sauce. Could be 2. On to second for 1. On to first in time. A big double play started by Camden Sauce. Went to Luke Johnson for 1. On to Cutter Dance. And the Riptide get out of the jam. They're still trailing 1-0 as we move on to the bottom of the 6th. Back here as the Riptide trailing 1-0, but they've got the top of their order up. The time to strike back perhaps right now. Bradley Navarro, Jake Lambden, Isaac Cadena all getting their third ups here, but their first ups against Isaac Coda, who worked a 1-2-3 inning against the bottom of the Riptide's order back in the bottom of the 5th, but now facing off against Navarro, who's 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts, and then followed by Lambden and Cadena. First pitch swinging, but first pitch missing is Navarro. He's swung at the first pitch and lifted 2 fly balls out, and we really see him have those lengthy at-bats more often, so it's an interesting approach for him.
You'd love to see him be that leadoff hitter that he's been all summer and just try and spark something here.
Nothing in one misses away. And when you talk about all summer, I mean, it really has been all summer long. He leads the Riptide in both hits and walks. His batting average just a hair under 400. He's been on base in every single game, all 23 that he's played in. I mean, he's just been wonderful throughout this entire summer for the Riptide. Swings and misses there, though, so down 1-2. We'll see if Navarro is one of the selected for the CCL All-Star Game, which is coming up on Wednesday. It's over at the MLB Academy in Compton. The Riptide will be off Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as a result of that game. 1-2 to Navarro. Ground ball left side. Diving play by Roca. He'll get up there to first, just not in time. You can't keep Bradley Navarro off the base pass for very long. Michael Roca gave it everything he could to do it. But Navarro reaches anyway, and the Riptide had the leadoff man aboard for the third time today. The first two each made it to third, but were left there. We'll see if Navarro's fate is any different.
Yeah, what a play from Michael Roca. It's full extension and made a good throw as well. Navarro just a little bit too quick to beat that one out, but a great play from Roca. But as you said, Navarro not easy to keep off of first base, and showing why there.
7 for 7 on stolen bases this season. Now Jake Lambden in the batter's box. Taking all the way, and it's 0-1. Lambden also 0 for 2, 2 ground outs, 1 to first, 1 to short. We'll see if the Riptide will have just 2 hits today. That Navarro infield single along with the Luke Johnson hit back in the second. The only 2 base knocks of the game. That one bounces in, so 1-1.
Navarro picks his spots very well for when he wants to run, but I wouldn't be surprised. Riptide need a spark on offense if he takes off at some point.
Coda staring in here. The righty, tougher to pick over, but he will move over. Navarro slides back, but just had to dirty up his clothes a little bit. That's the only harm done. So still 1-1 here on Lambden. Looks like some more conversations about eye contact here from Pablo Bustamante towards this Bombers pitching staff. They've been trying to work quickly on these Riptide hitters, and Bustamante felt that Coda did not make eye contact with Lambden. He sort of half swings, but it's grounded right back towards Coda. He'll go to first and just get the easy out. Navarro moves over to second on what effectively was a sacrifice bunt.
Yeah, it pretty much works as a bunt there, and I think you'll take that if you're the Riptide. Obviously not the result that Lambden wants, but it's only a 1-0 game, and now you get Navarro a left turn away with 1 out.
The big bat of Isaac Cadena. He's driven in 8 runs in just 5 games with the Riptide. He's driven in a run every single time he's started a game. 4-game hitting streak. He's got 2 home runs, including 1 yesterday. This is certainly the time for him to come up again for this Orange County team. Swings at the first pitch, but lifted it straight back, so 0-1.
Cadena's done nothing but hit since arriving to the team a week ago. He's hitting .389, those 2 home runs, already up to 8 RBIs as well.
He's 0 for 1 today. He was hit by a pitch to lead off the 4th, but he struck out looking back in the 1st. 0-1 goes up and away, so count even at 1. Navarro on second, as we've touched on, 7 for 7 on stolen bases. He's got good speed. So Noah Smith walks out to the mound in the Riptide bullpen. 1-1 here on Cadena. Another long pause, but throws home. Another foul ball sent towards the parking lot. Now it's 1-2 as Cadena will have to try and protect. He has struck out 4 times so far this season in the 5 games.
The Riptide have gotten 3 base runners on to lead off an inning, and the previous 2 times they weren't able to capitalize, so you'd love to not miss out again.
1-2 here on Cadena. Coda checks the runner but throws home. That one's popped up. Moving over is Roca, but it's going to fall onto that berm behind the Riptide dugout, and we'll stay on 1-2.
As it looks like Noah Smith has a glove in the Riptide bullpen, so could see him relatively soon.
Yeah, perhaps just the inning for Spence after he's not pitched in quite a while. 1-2 on Kadena in the here and now, though. Up and away. So the count even at 2. This at-bat's only featured 4 pitches for Kadena, but it's really felt longer than that. It's been a lot of pauses for Cota. He's checked on the runner, and certainly a tense, important spot in the 6th inning here of this 1-0 ball game. That one way down and away. So the count is full. First base open. But you certainly don't want to walk Kadena with the big bat of Carter Dans up behind.
Yeah, Kadena's made this a good at-bat. He'd love to get on base here. He'd love to drive home that run as well, but the Riptide will take anything at this point in the game.
Just 1 walk so far this summer. But you can make it 2 now after he takes the full count pitch down. The Riptide now have runners on first and second with 1 out. You saw the Bombers miss an opportunity in a pretty similar situation in the top of the inning. We'll see if the Riptide fare better right here.
Carter Dan's the guy to do it. He's got 11 RBIs this summer, one of the team leaders, and he can come through in a big way.
It's only the 2nd walk issued by Bombers pitching, the first from Cota since coming into this game. Wild pitches have been a problem as well for San Diego today, so that's certainly something to watch. That one way inside of Dans, who matrixes out of the way. And it's 1-0.
Yeah, good stop by Barnes there to keep that one at bay.
Certainly been busy behind the dish. 1-0 ahead Dans, who's got hits in 5 straight. Takes a strike at the knees here, though, so 1-1. So far today, he walked and was left at 3rd in the 2nd before flying out to center in the 4th. Both of those at-bats came against the starter, Peak, who again worked 4 innings of 1-hit baseball. That one's grounded into right field. Navarro is being waved around, picked up by Derflinger. Throw home is offline. Moving up to second, coming home. There's going to be a play at the plate. It is made. So Kadena tried to come home towards 3rd. Now Dan's in there as well, as there's chaos all over the Great Park. The Riptide have tied the game at 1. Kadena was thrown out trying to come home. Carter Dans goes all the way to 3rd on that one. Yes, there's sort of something going on pretty much everywhere. But Dans grounded a ball through a vacated right side. Navarro was home safe. The throw home got away from Flynn Barnes. Isaac Kadena, who'd gone 1st to 3rd, tried to come home. Roca picked it up, flipped home. They tagged out Kadena. And then Dans moved over to 3rd, was just in safely over there. Cota takes a moment to reassert himself. Luke Johnson at the plate. 2 outs, the now go-ahead run on 3rd. First pitch to Johnson, grounded towards short. Williams picks up, throws to 1st in time. The Riptide get 1. We are knotted up at 1 apiece. Moving on to the 7th. in Irvine. This game is all tied at 1. It's still Jake Spence on the mound. The Bombers have 7, 8, 9. Derflinger, Finelli, Barnes expected up here, all righties. We've seen Scott Stanley get aggressive with his bench pretty much every time these two teams have met. We'll see if that trend continues. First pitch fouled back over our heads. Some ton of action going on in all the bullpens. There's looks like still got Noah Smith up in the Riptide bullpen, and there's some action going on as well for the Bombers. This game all tied at 1. River Diaz de Leon up for San Diego. Pink bat grounded towards shortstop, picked up by Lambden. He'll throw to first just in time to get the speedy Derflinger. And out number 1 for the Bombers here in the top of the 7th.
And that's a big out for Jake Spence. He hasn't pitched in a while. He got the shutdown inning in relief of Cannon last time, and his team just put up a run to even the score. So if he can put up a 0, it gives confidence to the offense.
Now Gianluca Finelli, who was hit by a pitch in part of the 5th inning that scored the only run of the game for the Bombers. That one's chopped towards third. It's going to just kick foul in front of Camden Sauce. Would have had really no chance to get Finelli, and Sauce recognized that and so waited for it to move left of the chalk line.
Yeah, good play by Sauce there. As you said, no chance to get the runner, so hopefully it rolled foul, which it did.
Yeah, it made an error on the first play of the ball game, but since then a couple of nice defensive plays for Camden Sauce, who's getting the start over there at third after an off day yesterday. Now 0-1 to Finelli. That one below the zone from Spence, so now 1-1. If you're the Riptide, just trying to keep this game right where it's at. Give the bats the chance to stay hot. You got the one last inning. So that one skips in, but perhaps more to come if you can just keep this San Diego team right at 1 run. They allow 5.3 runs per game, but they only score the second fewest in the entire CCL. So this Bombers offense, not exactly the most potent. 2-1 is in there for a strike, so count back evened up at 2.
And Spence, as I said, you want to put up a 0 here, give some confidence to an offense that squeaked in a run last inning, and hopefully they can tee off from there.
2-2. That one's grounded towards short. Another play for Lambden. Throwing on the run and in time again. A couple of nice plays from a running Jake Lambden to get the first 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Jake Lambden make a play with his feet set all summer. He's always running around out there, but he gets it done. 2 good plays from him.
We'll have to ask if Jake Lambden played quarterback behind an offensive line that always crumbled back in high school or something, because he just has so much confidence and comfort throwing on the run with accuracy. That curveball does find the strike zone, so 0-1 is just sort of buckled into the inside corner to the number 9 man, Flynn Barnes. He's 0 for 2 today, struck out looking against Sean Cannon last time up, grounded out against Covey. Swings and fouls that one over towards that Riptide dugout as the Bat Boyle pick it up. And ahead 0-2 is Spence. Staring in for his sign from Crandall as he tries to work a 1-2-3 inning and get those bats right back up for Orange County. 0-2, strike 3. Chasing the slider was Barnes. And the Riptide managed to keep this game tied at 1. 6 big outs from Jake Spence in his return. And the Riptide bats will try and do their part. Headed on to the bottom of the 7th. It's time to stretch here at the Great Park. here in Irvine. Sam Evans alongside Huon Fitzpatrick. We're all tied at 1. The Riptide looking to take the lead for the first time here against the new pitcher, River Diaz de Leon. So far this summer, an ERA just north of 5 in 5 1/3 innings. He did allow 2 runs in an inning against the Riptide all the way back on June 10th. Last time out, 3 1/3, a hit, a run, 2 walks, and no strikeouts against the Oaks. First pitch here drops in the zone. We'll deal with Zach Crandall, Jack Salmon, Camden Sauce. So the Riptide send 6, 7, 8. That one also drops in. A couple of off-speed pitches from Diaz de Leon, who, just like the Riptide's Jake Spence, was at the now-defunct San Francisco State program last season. 0-2, check swing. It will check down towards first. Did not go, did Crandall. Looks like the Riptide perhaps catch a break. There was some confusion. It looked like Flynn Barnes was sort of expecting either a called strike from Bustamante or a check down. Instead, it's a ball, and it's an extra life for Crandall. 1-2. One away, so 2-2.
Yeah, Crandall, I think, definitely got away with one there. We'll see if he can capitalize on it.
2-2. Crandall lifts that one towards center field. Moving back maybe a step is Fishbow, now coming in. He'll reach with 2 hands and make the catch for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
The Riptide, every inning that they haven't gotten a runner to lead off the inning, they've gone 1, 2, 3. So starting that trend again here, you'd love to see Salmon get on.
Well, it's been an every other inning run. In the first 1, 2, 3, in the second leadoff man on, in the third 1, 2, 3, in the fourth leadoff man on, in the fifth 1, 2, 3, the sixth, you got the leadoff man on. He came around to score to tie this game up, but now Crandall goes down. We'll see if Jack Salmon can buck the trend right here. 1-0 to Salmon. That one misses away, so now in a good hitter's count ahead 2-0. Salmon, definitely a guy who could use a base knock. He's 0 for 2 today, hitting under 120 for the season. 3-0 after that one misses down and in. Even a walk would feel like a big deal for Salmon. He's got 6 free passes so far this season. Good speed when he's on the base path. We just haven't seen very much of him on those base paths.
Yeah, I'd love for him to get on and potentially spark something here.
Taking all the way, and it's 3-1 after Diaz de Leon finds the strike zone. Now, over at San Francisco State, Diaz de Leon had an ERA under 4, 3.78 in 16 2/3. Swing and just sort of weakly tapping that one right towards the dugout for the Bombers is Salmon. It's picked up by the new first base coach, Brady Pettit. He throws it back towards the Riptide dugout. So it's 3-2. Diaz de Leon is headed to Cal State Dominguez Hills for next season. And this one's lifted back by Salmon. So the battle continues. Pitch number 7 will be on the way momentarily. Salmon, just like Diaz de Leon, was in the transfer portal. He was at Hawaii last year, now UNLV. Salmon lines that one right towards the first baseman, Chu, who steals an extra base hit away from Jack Salmon. He scalded that one down the line, and a tough break for the Riptide.
And that's baseball for you, folks. If Jack Salmon was in the middle of a hit streak, that's a double, but because he's struggling with the bat, that's the line out. Tough break for him.
Definitely Jack Salmon, one of the smiliest guys in the dugout, but I'm sure it's hard for him to smile through that one. 2 outs here on Camden Sauce. Check swing, but it's a strike anyways because it was in the zone. Sauce is 0 for 2, but he hit one well out towards left field, maybe a step short of the warning track for Kyle Becker last time up. As Diaz de Leon attempts to work the fourth 1-2-3 inning here for San Diego. Another check swing, but another one in the strike zone, so it's 0-2.
And Sauce not looking super comfortable here, but he's going to have to battle. He does strike out a lot, but he also has 12 walks, so it's a decent part of his game.
Behind 0-2 in the count, though, here. Going to have to battle. That one's hit sharply, but again, right towards a bomber. This time it's Michael Roca. 2 loud lineouts, but outs nonetheless as the Riptide go 1, 2, 3. We're still tied at 1. Going, gone to Cityside Fiber. It's your turn to get connected with Cityside Fiber, OC Riptide's favorite gig speed fiber internet provider. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working from home, Cityside Fiber knocks it out of the park. Step up to the plate today and get connected at citysidefiber.com. All tied at 1. We're moving on to the 8th here at the Great Park. New pitcher on the mound for the Riptide is Noah Smith. Back after this. Welcome back here in Irvine. All tied at 1. Noah Smith on the mound for the Riptide. He's been great so far this summer. 10 innings pitched, just a 2.7 ERA, 4 walks to 14 strikeouts. It's going to be a tall task. He's got the top of this San Diego order. Thomas Williams, Lucas Bonham, Alan Chu here on the top of the 8th. Hits have been hard to come by for both teams. Just 9 combined, 6 from San Diego, 3 from Orange County. Smith, the sidearmer, finds the strike zone, but doesn't get the call, so it's 1-0.
Yeah, bit of a different look for the Bombers. The first 3 pitchers pretty over the top, and now Smith drops it down.
1-0 is just sent back towards the left side, so now 1-1. It's definitely a new look to deal with here if you're the Bombers. Pretty much everything's been standard, right-handed pitching, but now you've got to come with the side armor. That one's grounded towards Johnson. He bobbles, and it will be a runner. Williams reaches on an error for the second time this game, this time from Luke Johnson. That one sort of ate him up there at second base.
Yeah, 4th time on in a row for Williams now, and that's an error on Luke Johnson, but kind of a tough hop there. It bounced up, and he's unable to deal with it.
We've seen some rough hops at time this summer with the Great Park infield. But regardless of how we got there, a leadoff runner on in this tied game, top of the 8th. Lucas Bonham now at the plate. Squares to bunt. He just fouls it off to the left side. So everyone will return to where they were, and it's 0-1 on Bonham. So far today, Bonham reached on a fielder's choice, flew out, and then grounded into a double play. One of 2 so far that the Riptide have been able to turn. They've done a good job defensively when that's come to play.
Yeah, and the 2 double plays really in clutch spots. Sean Cannon got out of the jam with one, and Jake Spence cleaned up Sean Cannon's mess the next inning with a double play to end the inning.
You'd love another one right here and right now for the Riptide. 0-1 here towards Bonham. Foul right back, so 0-2. Smith, as we touched on, the 14 strikeouts so far this summer. He had 20 in 19 innings for Cal Baptist last season. A strikeout would be very big right here for the Riptide. 0-2. That one just got a piece, did Bonham. Unable to squeeze it for the foul tip was Crandall. We'll stay right here on 0-2.
Yeah, but Smith doing a good job of just continuing to come into the zone and make Bonham work hard to stay alive here.
Sinker, four-seamer, slider, changeup for Smith. That one's sent out towards the parking lot, so we'll stay here on 0-2. Third straight one fouled off by Bonham. Runner on first, Williams, after the error to lead off this inning. 0-2, swing and a miss. It took a couple of tries, but Smith gets his K, a big first out. And that'll bring up Alan Chu here for the Bombers.
And Noah Smith, despite the arm slot, does throw relatively hard. He's at 87 around there on the fastball today, so does run it up there with the weird arm slot.
That was the 9th punchy of the game from the Riptide pitching staff. That one sent foul over their dugout. This Orange County team strikes out more hitters per 9 than anyone else in the CCL, over 11 and a half. So pretty much on pace here as you've struck out 9 through 7 1/3. We're going to have a meeting of the minds here as the 3 umpires come together. I'm not sure what they're conversing about, but they'll talk, pointing towards first base, and it looks like they're perhaps ruling a catcher's interference here. Would allow the runners to move up. It's a tough break for the Riptide. So you've now got back-to-back errors. The catcher's interference as well as the E4 by Johnson. We got Michael Rocha to the plate right here in a huge spot. 1 out, runners on first and second.
And tough. Zach Crandall, one of the better defensive catchers in college baseball, so a tough break for him there.
Now you really need that double play ball. Sidearmers can have an easier time inducing those ground balls. Perhaps you can get one on Rocha. That one instead bounces to the backstop. Crandall can't keep it in front, and the runners move up to second and third. So there goes your double play ball. And now you're in a real spot of bother if you're the Riptide.
Yeah, tough inning for the Riptide. A leadoff ground ball. Guy reaches on an error. Then you get a catcher's interference from a very good defensive catcher. And now a wild pitch. So Smith is going to have to work hard here. As looks like Crandall might be in some pain.
Trainer came out to check on him. Crandall pretty much waved him off, and he'll head back towards the Riptide dugout. This is a mess that the Riptide have created pretty much all on their own. 2 errors, and then the wild pitch. The infield's going to come in all the way around as you try and keep this game tied. 1-0 count here on Rocha. Staring in Smith. Throws home, gets a big swing and a miss. So now 1-1. Into the slider there to get it, and it certainly slid away.
And if you're Smith, definitely playing for the strikeout here.
1-1. Another swing and a miss with the slider for Smith. You do have first base open. This is one of those situations where a walk is way better than a hit. So it really feels like if you have confidence in your catcher to give him 3 balls outside the strike zone, if he lays off all of them, a walk, not the end of the world. 1-2 here from Smith. That one inside, so now 2-2.
It's not a bad pitch from Smith. It Had some late movement there, but a good take by Roca.
So the count even now. So the Riptide try and dance their way out of trouble again here tonight. That one misses down. So the count is full. Again, don't necessarily have to go after Rocha here. Becker waits on deck. He's 1 for 3, but it was a triple, his lone hit. 3-2. Biggest pitch so far of this ball game here from Noah Smith. Long pause. Now throws home, and he yanked it. It'll go to the backstop. Coming home to score, Williams. And just like that, San Diego leads this one 2-1 after the Riptide have gotten really sloppy here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, and with the offense sputtering like the Riptide have, you don't want to make mistakes and give the Bombers something they didn't earn, and that's what it's been this inning for the Riptide. The air, the catcher's interference, couple wild pitches, and now a run on the board for the Bombers.
So now Kyle Becker to the plate. He takes one away. It bounces away again. Crandall can't find it. Coming home to score again is Chu, and now it's 3-1. Another wild pitch. This one didn't get very far away. Crandall just couldn't corral it. Now a conversation between the two. Perhaps got crossed up on that one. Rocha moved up to second as well, so he's in scoring position. The chaos continues for the Riptide. 1-0 behind in the count, Smith. Some more action in the Riptide bullpen. That one way inside, so now 2-0. Smith really showing command issues. The first time we've seen that this summer.
Yeah, an inning that hasn't gone his way. It wasn't his fault to start, but now the control issue is becoming a problem.
Now 2-0 again, another one that bounces in the dirt. So 3-0. Just doesn't really feel like Noah Smith knows where the baseball's going right now. Zach Ireland, the last listed available arm, is ready to go in the bullpen should his services be required. 3-0. That one misses down. It's a 4-pitch walk for Kyle Becker. As the troubles continue for Noah Smith.
Yeah, it is a walk, but it does set up the double play, so some silver lining for Noah Smith.
It is now 3-1. San Diego has scored twice in this inning without the help of a base hit. Couple of errors, one by the infield, one with the catcher's interference, and now the 2 walks have prompted Coach Evans to come to the mound. We'll see if this is Smith's night or whether he'll be given the opportunity to try and leave the damage right where it's at. Still a conversation for the moment here as Evans just talking things over. But he's thrown back-to-back wild pitches. That's what allowed the 2 runs to score. And then he's issued 2 straight walks as well. Hasn't found the strike zone in quite a while. This is now a pretty lengthy meeting. The entire infield in. What do you think this conversation's like, Huon?
I think it's just calming down Smith. This inning started not on the fault of his own. There was a couple of errors, and then he kind of lost control, and we just saw the 4-pitch walk. So just kind of calming him down, saying, trust your stuff, go get that double play. Fishbow did do that his last time up, but trust your stuff, trust your defense. Your command is there. Just kind of giving him a breather and saying that we trust you to get out of this.
We know that the Riptide offense, though they've been quiet today, can sort of roar to life at times. We saw them only score in 2 innings when they scored 10 runs against the Philippines, but they scored 4 and 6 in those 2 frames. So even down 2 here, this one far from over. Nothing and nothing here on Fishbow. You definitely need to limit the damage, though, if you're Smith. Runners on first and second. First pitch grounded, picked up by Smith. He'll throw to second for one, on to first. There's your double play. Huge one turned, 1-4-3 by the Riptide, but not before 2 runs come across for the Bombers. It's 3-1 San Diego as we move on to the bottom of the 8th. Back here as the Riptide try and scrap back. They had tied this game at 1, but they're now trailing 3-1 after the Bombers scored twice without a base hit. New pitcher into the ball game is Trevor Morgan. He's making his Bombers debut here in the CCL. He pitched at Grossmont College, had a 3 ERA in 59 innings. Facing off against Cam Burdick right here. Burdick 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts so far today. That one bounces in, so 1-0. 1-1, says the home plate umpire Pablo Bustamante. Looks like there was a pitch missed there by the Jumbotron behind us. 1-0, misses up and in. So now 2-1 on Burdick, who would, if he keeps that trend going, be the guy to get aboard for the Riptide here. 2-1 now on the speedy center fielder. That one sent towards center field. Falling fast, started out was Fishbow, but he does come in, loses the hat, but makes the play for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th.
So the trend ends there with Burdick. It had gone 1-2-3 inning, leadoff runner, 1-2-3 inning, back and forth this inning, this game, but Cam Burdick ends that here. But Navarro, always a guy that can start something for the Riptide.
The lineup flips over. You really do feel like this is a big spot for the Riptide. You've got some huge bats coming up. You want to start to chip away at this lead. Taking a strike is Navarro, so 0-1. Navarro scored the Riptide's only run today. He had an infield single to lead off the 6th. Came around to score on Carter Danz's ground ball single. That one misses away, 1-1. Zach Ireland, the only arm left for the Riptide. Presumably he'll be entering the ball game in the 9th. But the question of what situation that is up to the Riptide bats right here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-1 for Navarro. Takes one just outside, 2-1.
Yeah, good take from Navarro. He knows what pitch he wants, and he'll wait for it as long as he can. So definitely a guy you want up to spark something.
This Bombers team so far this season is 4-10. That one misses down, but they're 2-3 against the Riptide, trying to get to 3-3 on the season in the final meeting between these two sides. So half their wins this year have come against Orange County, trying to make it 60%. But first, you got to get through Bradley Navarro in a 3-1 count. That one's popped up. It'll stay on the infield. Shortstop Thomas Williams calling for it. He'll make the catch. And the Riptide are just down to their last 4 outs here. 2 down, nobody aboard here in the bottom of the 8th. Jake Lambden up in the batter's box.
This is definitely the part of the lineup, though, that they want up to try and come back. Lambden, Cadena, Dans, Johnson, all really dangerous hitters as of late.
What sort of hurts you is that with the way the outs have fallen, you're sort of splitting Navarro and Lambden if Lambden's retired here from the rest of that lineup. As this one bounces in 1-0. Should be certainly a tough break for the Riptide. Morgan's set down the first 2 hitters that he's faced. The Riptide last 6 have been retired by 3 different pitchers, Coda, Diaz de Leon, and now Morgan. 1-0 just misses inside. So now 2-0 after Lambden will take a timeout after working his way ahead in the count. No action going on at all in the Bombers bullpen. 2-0 on Lambden. That one's grounded right side. Picked up by Bonham. He'll throw to first just in time. Lambden was beating it down the line, but to no avail. It's 3-1 San Diego. Will head to the 9th as San Diego tries to add on. Back here in Irvine, Riptide trailing 3-1. They're down to their last 3 outs, but first they've got to keep San Diego from adding on. It'll be 7-8-9. James Derflinger, Gianluca Finelli, Flynn Barnes on to face off against Zach Ireland, who's into this game in relief of Noah Smith. Smith, an inning, no hits, 2 runs. They were both unearned. He did walk 2 and strike out 1. So Derflinger and his pink bat will lead things off here in the bottom of the 9th. So far today, an infield single and a run, but he's 1 for 3. That one hits him, so the first pitch from Zach Ireland, off speed, didn't quite have the feel, and it's a base runner for the Bombers.
Yeah, not a good start if you're Zach Ireland. You want to put up a 0 in this inning and give your offense a fighting chance in the bottom half.
A pinch hitter. It's Christian Santiago hitting in the place of Finelli. The lefty Santiago has the platoon advantage here. Will take over for the DH Finelli. So no need to sub him in defensively. Santiago so far this summer hitting .267, just 2 walks to 11 strikeouts. He's primarily an infielder, so he'll take over as the DH.
At LA Pierce College, in 42 games, Santiago hit .385.
First pitch here to the pinch hitter. Squared but pulled it back after the pitch missed down, so 1-0. Should Santiago come into the game, we'd have to have someone leave if he were to come into the field. But if he stays just as the DH, then there's no problem there. Flynn Barnes, the catcher, waits on deck. Squaring again and getting the bunt down, but foul this time, is Santiago. We've seen a lot of those bunts and squeeze plays so far today from the Bombers, as they've really played some small ball and let the Riptide shoot themselves in the foot last inning, scored 2 runs, and the moment leading by those 2 runs, 3-1. 1-1 from Ireland. Another bunt pulled back, but this one's in the strike zone, so 1-2.
And the Riptide have just really not played a clean game. It's kind of been the tale of that against the Bombers. They didn't play a great game the first time last week. They went on that 5-game win streak, and now not a great game here, but still a chance to come out with a victory.
Runner goes, pitches a ball, throw down, not in time. The ball got away from Lambden anyway, but the throw from Crandall would not have been there to gun down Derflinger. So he moves into scoring position with no outs here. 2-2 on Santiago at the plate.
And aggressive from the Bombers, but I like that. It's only a 2-run game. Despite the struggles from the Riptide offense, they can turn it around at any point. So aggressive there to try and tack on at least one more.
So 2-2 from Ireland, who's got a 5.4 ERA so far this summer. This one's popped up. 3 Riptide giving chase. It will be Navarro who makes the play in foul territory. Moving over to third, though, Derflinger, as he takes advantage, moves with just in 90 feet away from scoring a big insurance run. That one sort of put into no man's land. Cutter Dans and Luke Johnson were out there going out, but it's Navarro coming in who has the easier play, and he did make the catch.
Yeah, it's a great play from him, but also good awareness by Derflinger to take the extra 90 feet and be a wild pitch away from another run, which has plagued the Riptide today.
So Flynn Barnes, the catcher, up. The number 9 man, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. The infield in all the way around for the Riptide. First pitch just on the top corner from Ireland, so 0-1. We've seen the infield come in already today for the Riptide. Hasn't had it been tested yet, though. That one misses down and in, so 1-1.
And for Ireland, definitely pitching for the strikeout here against Barnes.
We've already seen him strike out once looking and once swinging today. Swings and misses here, so 1-2. Ireland so far this summer has 3 strikeouts in 3 1/3 innings, but he earned the save last time out and got 2 strikeouts in an inning in a win 6 days ago against the Barons. This one's hit sharply foul down the left field line. Could have been big trouble for the Riptide, but instead, it's still 1-2. So the baseball's been retrieved, and Ireland, who took a couple of steps off the back of the mound, ready to get back on the hill and try and work away on Barnes to get a big second out. That one just misses away. Barnes thought about it, but didn't pull the trigger. It was a wise decision, and we're at 2-2. Your Ireland trying to find a way to keep that runner right at third is huge. This one's grounded weakly. Picked up by the third baseman, Sauce. He'll throw over to first, and critically holding the runner over there at third. Camden Sauce darted in front of Jake Lambden, made the play, did just enough to keep Derflinger standing there at third, and a big second out in the inning.
Yeah, that's a huge play from Camden sauce to keep this game right where it is.
So Thomas Williams, the leadoff man, he's reached all 4 times, 2 singles and 2 reached on error. This one bounces in, so it's 1-0. 1-0 here on Williams. That one's popped up towards left field. Moving out Lambden. Coming in, it will be Salmon who makes the catch. And so the Riptide managed to alleviate any further damage, but it's still 3-1 Bombers. The Orange County Bats have 3 outs to play with to try and come back and win this one, headed to the bottom of the 9th. Welcome back to the bottom of the 9th here at the Great Park. Orange County's chasing this one 3-1. It'll be Trevor Morgan on the mound to try and complete a 6-out save. The Riptide will send Isaac Cadena, Carter Dans, and Luke Johnson to the plate. Should any of them get aboard, Zach Crandall expected up. Cadena's reached each of his last 2 times up, a hit by a pitch and a walk. He struck out looking back in the first, so 0 for 1 so far today. Righty-lefty matchup right here. Cadena takes one on the outer half, 1-0. And the biggest thing for the Riptide, you've got to find a way to get the tying run to the plate first, whether it's a walk and a whack, a bloop and a blast. It doesn't matter how you do it. You just have to find a way to get that tying run to the plate. Ahead 2-0, Cadena off to a good start towards doing just that.
And you don't need to be the hero here. A home run doesn't do anything except cut this lead in half. So just find a way to get on base, pass the baton one at a time, and play team baseball.
2-0. That one misses down. So now 3-0. That's been the story of the summer for the Riptide, is when they play that team game, when they pass the baton, they are really, really hard to beat. They haven't shown it today, just 3 hits and 1 run. But there's a moment of magic in there. And there's the first step. Ball 4, Cadena with a 4-pitch walk. And just like that, the tying run is Carter Dans, and he's at the plate.
Yeah, that's a great at-bat from Cadena, 4-pitch walk, and Dan's a guy that can do some damage. So potentially see if Cadena gets aggressive here, but you don't want to run yourself into an out in the 9th. But a good start for him.
Yeah, it really feels like there's not much reason to try and think about swiping a bag here with the tying run at the plate. That's the important runner. So maybe a double steal if you can get Dans aboard. But in the here and now, you just need Dans to find a way to put a good at-bat together. Takes ball 1. So we've now gotten 5 straight balls from Morgan to begin this frame.
And if I'm Carter Dans, I'm not swinging until I see a strike, 5 straight balls. You don't want to give Morgan something that he doesn't need.
1-0. That one is in the strike zone, so 1-1.
Yeah, now Carter Dans will go.
Dans does have a home run this season. He homered right down the right field line up at San Luis Obispo. So he's got the power to tie this game with 1 swing of the bat. 1-1. That one drops into the outer half. So now 1 and 2 down is Dan. So he'll have to try and battle his way aboard. Steps out and now back in. He singled in the only Riptide run of the game back in the 6th. Trying to find something right here in the 9th. Just missing the outer half is Morgan. So 2 and 2.
Dangerous take from Dance, but he's got a good idea of the strike zone, and now going to keep battling here with 2 strikes.
So 2 and 2. Cadena hasn't shown any interest towards moving off first. He's maybe 5 feet off the bag. That one's hit well out towards right field. Moving back, Durflinger, warning track, while he leaps. It is gone! We are tied at 3. Carter Dans with the Riptide down to their last 3 outs. Comes out of nowhere, his 2nd home run of the season. How about it?
Carter Dans, what a swing. The Riptide offense quiet all night. Demon time for Carter Dans. He comes through in a big way, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, a brand new ball game here in Irvine.
The Riptide have just 4 hits today, but that one's the biggest one they've hit all season long. Carter Dans just gets all of it out to right field. All knotted at 3. Now Luke Johnson at the plate. The Riptide try and win this one right here in 9. That one does catch the outer half, so 0 and 1. But what an at-bat from Carter Dans. 2 and 2 count. He had been down. He'd taken some pitches. Just gets a hold of one. Gets his pitch and does not miss it. 0 and 1. That one's hit sharply. It's going to fall into center field. Luke Johnson reaches on a single, and we know with his speed, it's a real threat as the Riptide try and walk this one off.
Yeah, now with the situation being a tie game, you can kind of open it up a little bit and be more aggressive. So wouldn't be surprised to see Johnson go, as now we're going to have a meeting at the mound.
To make that home run even more impressive for the Riptide, this is game number 30 of the season. The last time the Riptide, or for that matter, anyone had homered at the Great Park all the way back in game number 5 of the year. So it had been a long time coming, and it came at the best possible time for the Riptide. Meeting on the mound as Zach Crandall talks things over with Grant Mayu. If you're the Bombers, you were cruising in this game. You had to find a way to get out of it. And now you're trying to just find a way to stay alive and move to the 10th. Should the game get to him, Reed Montgomery has come out on deck in the place of Jack Salmon. But right now, I think for the Riptide, the priority is getting Luke Johnson, who so far this season is a perfect 14 for 14 on stolen bases. In fact, 15 for 15 because he swiped one back on the 2nd. Get him into scoring position and then see what you can do at the plate.
And Reed Montgomery, the leading RBI man for the Riptide. If you can get him up, a good chance to win this game, but you got to get a good at-bat out of Crandall.
They will pick over to Johnson. Right to be concerned about him. And some more action now in the Bombers bullpen. Crandall at the plate so far 0 for 3. He squares to bunt, pulls it back. Pitch was a ball, so 1-0. And that's what we talked about. The Riptide offense had been quiet all day long. It just roared to life here in the 9th. Another pick towards Johnson. Riley Plummer up here in the bullpen for San Diego. 1-0 on Crandall. Squaring to bunt and again pulling back. But it's 1-1 because that one found the strike zone. Plummer, the last arm available for San Diego. This one has gotten very interesting in the bottom of the 9th. The Riptide have 3 walk-off wins so far this summer. 1-1 here. That one bounces in. One against the Malibu Marlins, the Academy Barons, and the Philippines. Justin Tiller was the hero in the first one. Bradley Navarro the second. Reed Montgomery, who waits on deck, the walk-off winner against the Philippines a week ago. Squaring to bunt, but again in the strike zone. So 2-2 on Crandall. Hasn't been able to get the bunt down. Now the question, do you send Johnson in motion? Do you give Crandall the opportunity to swing away? That's up to Coach Evans in the Riptide dugout. 2-2 now on Zach Crandall. They'll pick over towards Johnson, who dives back safely. So still 2-2 on the Riptide backstop. That one bounces in. It's 3-2. Johnson's headed for second. He's going to think about moving towards third, but he will stay on second. But regardless, into scoring position now. It's a man who lives in scoring position. 3-2 on Crandall after that one was spiked by Morgan.
Yeah, and that's huge. A single should score Johnson with his speed to win this game. That's a big, wild pitch from Trevor Morgan.
So 3-2 on Crandall. Now the winning run in scoring position. That one's hit out towards right field. Derflinger's under it. Johnson looks like he's going to tag. He's headed towards third. The throw is just offline, and that's a break for the Riptide. And so now he's in just away, 90 feet away is Luke Johnson. Reed Montgomery, the pinch hitter, to the plate.
Luke Johnson, very scary there. A heck of a throw from James Derflinger, but no slide from Johnson almost cost the Riptide there.
The infield's going to come in all the way around here for the Bombers. You obviously cannot let that run come home in this 3-3 game. Looks like there's some conversation being had. Scott Stanley's out to talk for the third time. They're checking to see whether Johnson tagged up successfully, but it looks like instead they'll issue an intentional walk towards Reed Montgomery. So the pinch hitter does not get a chance for his second walk-off of the season. He's sent towards first base. Now Camden Sauce coming to the plate, but he's discarded his bat as well. So it looks like back-to-back intentional walks. That'll load the bases. It'll put up a force at any base. So just like that, Cam Burdick has been thrust into the spotlight. Still just one out, bases still loaded. Looking for the double play to try and get all the way out of this inning here. You can throw home to at least kill that potential tying run for the moment. Burdick swinging at the first pitch, fouls it straight back. If the game gets to him, Bradley Navarro's got a walk-off already this season. He's on deck right now. It's still Morgan on the mound. 0-1 to Burdick. That one bounces in. 1-1, there is nowhere to put him. For a guy like Cam Burdick, who's struggled pretty much all year long, this would be the time to break out of that slump and win it for the Riptide. 1-1, Burdick pops it up. Moving over Chu, it will just get into the bullpen. A break for the Riptide. Now a 1-2 count, but that thing was 4 feet from being out number 2 instead.
Yeah, and Flynn Barnes behind the plate has to be careful because a ball past him wins this game for the Riptide.
We've already seen wild pitches cost the Riptide. They could potentially give the win to the Riptide if one comes here. So 1-2 behind is Burdick. Trying to find something right here and win it for Orange County. 1-2's fouled straight back, so we'll stay right here. Burdick is 0 for 3 tonight, struck out twice and flew to center field. But if he can fly towards center again, Luke Johnson's got amazing speed. Could come home and try and win it. 1-2 again. This one's popped up again over to the right side. Deeper into the bullpen, but only by a matter of feet. Still 1-2 though. This is be the first time all season the Riptide have come back from a multi-run deficit in the ninth. They did come back from a one-run deficit against the Barons to win it. But now trying to do so right here to win it against the Bombers. That one's hit well. That's in the gap. This game is over. Cam Burdick with a single into the gap. Let's go home. Cam Burdick, what a time to burst out of your slump. Just fires one into that left center gap. Luke Johnson comes around to score. The Riptide win it 4-3 with 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, Cam Burdick, what a time to come alive there. And the Riptide fought to the very end. The offense was not good at all, really, for the first 8 innings, but they came alive when it mattered. Carter Dan's a huge home run to give them some life. They kept on fighting. Scott Stanley tried to play some mind games with the double intentional walk, but Cam Burdick said, enough of those shenanigans. We're going to win this game right here. He comes through in a big way, and the Riptide get it done. The pitching was fantastic. They worked around some mistakes by the defense and some wild pitches on their own front, and I thought despite how tough of a game it was, the Riptide did a good job to fight and win this game.
Just like that, the Riptide, who looked destined to drop this one after playing 8 innings of some ugly, uninspired, disappointing baseball. They had 3 errors. They scored 3 in the bottom of the ninth. They've won now 6 in a row. They're up to 17-11 in league play, 19-11 overall as this stretch run to the postseason continues. They'll be right back here at the Great Park tomorrow at 5:30. It's a rising tide all the way around. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back here on Riptide YouTube and Riptide Radio as Orange County goes for win number 7 in a row. I've been Sam Evans alongside Huon Fitzpatrick. Thank you for listening.